Ohai. Deir ez-Zor, the city in the northeast of Syria, the administrative center of the governorate Deir ez-Zor. It is located on the right river bank Euphrates. The transport hub on the riverway Raqqa, Baghdad, and the highway Palmyra, Fadgami. Distance to Damascus, about 432 km, to Aleppo, about 320 km. Before the civil war in Syria, the city was called by Jemshuna by deserts. During war it underwent serious destructions. According to a census of 2004, the population of the city totaled about 212,000 people. During fighting, the considerable share of inhabitants left the city. The Arab name of the city is borrowed from the Syrian Deir, that means the small settlement, the monastery. History. In 85 km to the southeast from the city there is an archaeological site of Deir repose, the Roman fortress on Euphrates, and in 120 km in the same direction, the remains of the ancient city of Mari. During an era of the Roman Empire it was an important trade point between Rome and India. In the 3rd century it was won by Zenobia and attached to the kingdom of Palmyra. Further, I was a part of the states of this region replacing each other. In the 13th century it was destroyed by the Mongols who intruded to the Middle East. The present city was built in 1867 at the time of the Ottoman Empire. During genocide of Armenians in 1915, the city and the desert surrounding them were chosen by the Mladitaretsky government as the main place of collecting deported, where thousands of Armenians died. There was Deir el-Zorsky, the concentration camp. France occupied the city in 1921 and placed in it large military garrison. In the early 20s the French built the suspension bridge through Euphrates. In 1946 the city became a part of independent Syria. The city underwent considerable destructions during the civil war in Syria. Massachusetts manifestations of discontent in Deir ez-Zor, as well as in other territory of Syria, broke out in March 2011. Large-scale collisions between government forces and their opponents began after, at the end of July 2011, the President Bashar al-Assad ordered to enter army divisions in a row of the cities, including Deir ez-Zor, for the purpose of restoration of control over a situation. Introduction of troops and the followed repressions against participants of protests led to bloodshed and the beginning of armed resistance of opponents of ruling regime, separate groups of so-called Free Syrian Army and local breeding formations. In the summer of 2012 insurgents took the most part of the territory of the province under the control and conducted battles with government forces for mastering the main cities. During this period the extremist jihadist group Jabhat al-Nusra also considerably enhanced the activity. Having seized the territory of the province, various insurgent groups, including al-Nusra Front, began to be at war with each other for control over oil fields of this province. The terrorist group the Islamic State of Iraq used the arisen civil strife. Since 2013 her formations began penetration into the region. In April 2014 the armed groups of ISIL developed massive approach, having forced out Jabhat al-Nusra and Free Syrian Army from all territories of the province occupied with them. Deir ez-Zor became the economic and political center of the self-proclaimed caliphate of jihadists. At the end of 2013 defense of the city was headed by the Major General ez-Zor. Troops of ISIL cut Deir ez-Zor highway. Deir ez-Zor. Palmyra, Damascus through the Syrian desert. Within more than 3 years the Syrian military garrison of Deir ez-Zor was in a siege, receiving the help and reinforcements only on the air bridge. In this connection the city got the nickname, the Syrian besieged Leningrad. According to the estimates given in November 2016, in 5 years since the beginning of armed conflicts in the territory of the city, government forces lost or killed about 2,500 people, anti-governmental formations, about 3,000. Government forces for that period kept under the control 40% of the territory of the city, with the population about 100,000, and military airfield, key critical infrastructure of the city, formation of ISIL, other territory of the city with the population about 50,000. Since the end of 2015, humanitarian and military aid to besieged was rendered by the Russian military. On September 5, 2017, the Syrian government troops with assistance of Russian air forces made break of blockade. During the Battle of Deir ez-Zor, the Russian aviation support was crucial. On November 3, 2017, the city is completely freed from formations of IS. Sites. In the city there is a local museum, the Arab Cultural Center, and also higher educational institutions. Faculties: agriculture, natural sciences, art and humanities, pedagogical, legal and medical, and also technical training colleges. The local daily newspaper Al-Furat Euphrates is issued. In the neighborhood of the city oil fields, on the outskirts of the city, airfield of joint basing are located. Industry: the center of the agricultural area where the cattle breeding, grain crop production and cultivation of cotton is developed. After discovery of light crude in the Syrian desert, the city became the center of the oil extracting industry in Syria. Oil fields and wells are located around. Near the city, development of salt is conducted. In the city, tourist infrastructure is developed. Restaurants on the riverbank, hotels to 5 stars. Firat Sham and Badiat Sham. The transport hub for travel through the desert. In culture: in the 10th chapter of the novel Fog and Remedy, 1957. In Deir ez-Zor, on the outskirts of the Syrian desert, is located base of Spiralet of technical medical care. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.